Hello. Today I will share my experience about creating a test, load test. And there are two different types of the load test. And let's see what I have done and also what I can do. There's a way to create a load test on my local. I can easily create a locust file on my local and the requirements is like a Python something and some other things like some libraries. And then specifying the destination, which the locus file is, the basic locus file is something like that. And you can also give the destination here, and also you can use the UI, which generally I'm using UI. On the UI, you can give the destination, then your PC, your local PC creates the load to the destination server, then the response from the destination server to your PC, and the locust will assess the results, and it will show the result in the UI on your browser. So this is the easiest way to create a load test, but there are some pros and cons to creating something. In that example, I created a distributed one and I go to the distributed one. Why? Because if I do that on my local, my network is limited, the test is limited by network. So I would like to create that test over my network limits. That's why I use the distributed one. And how I configure. If we need to make a distributed one, we need to some other servers or clients to create the load to the destination. So this is how I solve the network problem, because I'm using, let's assume, 5 different machines. So this can easily create the load, because these are the 5 different machines. It's basically making an attack, but it's definitely in a good way, not a bad way, because we are trying to find how our server works on a load. So creating a distributed one, there's 2 ways. You can be master, your local computer. You can use your local computer as master, or you can create a VM as a master. So if you would like to go to cheaper, but it's open to discuss, you can use a tunnel. What is tunnel? A tunnel, I used ngrok, by the way. If it work, probably I didn't will configure all that things. I will not go to the VM way because it's more detailed. But the ngrok, the free one of the ngrok, it just helps you to create one HTTP port to your local machine. So how Locust works, if you would like to go distributed one, there's a one master and there are slaves, and that slaves are connecting to the master on defined ports. They need 2 specified ports to connect the clients or slaves to the master. But the free ngrok is just allow you assign just one port. That's why I didn't use ngrok. I tried, but when I realized it was just an experience. So I discovered Cloudflare after that. Cloudflare, it's on the web page. They were saying like it's all free and you can use how much port you want. But I don't want to risk again, because after that all effort, and when you see something like that and if you don't want to pay, you just need to try another way. I always would like to try the cloud VMs to create some setup like that, but I was afraid of doing something wrong, because that cloud VMs, we always provide our credit card details, and if something wrong, if I did something wrong easily, I was worrying about how much I need to pay, because I also read something about like they created a server in a shared cloud VM, and they opened some ports and they forget it, and some bad intent guys, like hackers, like other guys, is discovered that, and they try to attack to that servers, and it created tons of bills to that guy, and they have to pay all that bills. And I was really afraid of to do something like this, but also I was wondering about how could be. and then I tried the ngrok. I didn't try the Cloudflare, and I will go to that way. And also there is another ways. If you would like to be a master, you can make a port forwarding. By the way, you can use your local computer as a master, but the slaves need to connect you, and then you have to open your in network to the out network with the port forwarding. And this is kind of dangerous, and I am not the master of this. I know how I can do that. I need to speak with an ISP and some making the configurations on my modem, and after that I can easily do that. But I was also worrying about the same reason. If it's discovered, I was worrying about to get attacked to my home. And there's also another way to VPN. If you create a VPN, and that VPN, if you share the VPN with your teammates, it helps you to make in the same network. And if you are in the same network on your local, you will just need to set your firewall on your local machine, and after that you will create an inbound rule to get the request to your in request in network. I also tried this one because me and my teammates, we are connected with the VPN tool, but that VPN has no feature to connect each other in the network. When we connect to our VPN, our all out IPs are same. That means we are all in network. But I requested one of my friends in IP, and then I tried to create a ping on my CMD, but the ping did not delivered. So I understand the in-network communication is not adjusted or prevented. But I didn't speak with an IT to create this because these are the cost of this is much. I'm trying to find the cheapest and easiest way. So all of them I tried, but I can't go. And also the port forwarding, I don't want to speak with an ISP, and also I don't want to buy the static IP, and I don't want to do most of that things. And I decided to go to the create a VM as a master because there are some VM tools, some clouds are offering free. And one of the best free one for a lifelong Oracle. And AWS is also free, but it's just for a 1 year after you open an account. In this example, I used AWS because I was always wondering about the Amazon things, and it was very nice because the Amazon console, it was very confusing for me, and the most of the details, I was always I always lost myself in an Amazon console because it's really complicated. But in this example, I show is a whole is easy. With all different VM or cloud providers in a same place, you can make the distributed load test in a three-way: Kubernetes, Docker, or this is my technique. I don't know what should I do, what should I say to my technique. I will explain and let's decide what could be the name. But first, I will explain to how Kubernetes works if you would like to make a distributed test. But this one is definitely expensive, and I don't want to make money. I don't want to spend money. So you will create a VM and you will put your master into that VM, and you have to adjust the network rules inside the VM because the slaves, also the other pods into Kubernetes, connected to Kubernetes, you have to adjust all that things, and that slaves will connect to the master in network. And you can create how many slaves you want because it's a Kubernetes. You can easily create the pods. And how many slaves after you create it doesn't matter. That slaves will create the load to the destination server, and you will order to that slaves with using that master, and that master has a UI, and you can access that UI to the public IP of that VM, and you can order to the master, and that master will just say to the slaves to the attack that destination, and they will collect all results, and the slaves are communicating with the master that define two ports, which you not able to create that two ports on a free version of ngrok, and that two ports, they are communicating with the master, and the master is showing what data achieved on the UI. Now, this is also the one of the way, and I saw most of the examples on the web about this one. They were most of the developers or tester guys is creating that. But the thing is that I'm trying to find cheapest way, because it's a job, but it's a kind of personal interest, because my job was just creating a load test, and I can create a load test like that. So they also know this is the cheapest way, and the cost of this has to be minimum, because there's a cheapest way in here. That's why I focused on the price. So the Kubernetes is the expensive way, and there is also the Docker, and also this one is also similar to like that, and this is also expensive. So let's go to my technique. So the AWS is offering 450 hours monthly, freely. 450 hours monthly is a little bit interesting, because the 1 month has a 30 or 31 days. If it has a 30 days, multiply 41 for 24, it makes 720. And if it's a 31 day, it makes 744. So the AWS is offering 750 hours monthly. That means you can always run 724 your VMs, but which I don't want to do that. It's just it's enough to do that, and it's specified for some servers. Like if you are able to use T2 micro, you will use that. In your destination, in your place, or in your country, it's not allowed. Also, the Amazon helps you to T3 micro, and this one is also the free if you are not able to access T2. So in my technique, I created a VM and put a master inside the VM over my CMD, and I copied my locust file inside to that machine. There is an operating system. Yes, I installed Ubuntu there, and I put my file inside this, and there is a public IP of that VM, and I created the locust file to share with my teammates, and also there's a one specified code, and they are using that code, this VM public IP, and they are running to my locust file in their local machines. And after that all run to my locust file, I will see that all in my UI in a public IP of that VM. And I will order there is the same thing with an upper one, and my teammates' computer are start to attack to the destination. And this is how I configured to this one. And also what could be, by the way, when I was doing that, I discovered something interesting, because in our tech stack, we are using Kubernetes, and we are also using Prometheus and the Grafana. If you have these ones, you don't need to build all that system, because this is interesting thing that I discovered. You know, here, this is the easiest way. You will just need a locust file. You just need to create a locust file, and you share this with your friends. And all guys can start to test in their own computer, like this one. Let's assume we are doing that way, and you make this just copy. Like this is mine, and this is my friend, and this is for my friend, this is for my friend. Let's copy 4 of them, and we are making 4 different machines to the destination server. So how we assess the all result in together, because each computer gets the results, and we are not able to connect to each result together. And if we do that, we will not test to our server in a correct way. But this one is also open to discuss, but this is one another cheapest and easiest way, because you just need to create a one locust file and share with your teammates, and all you guys start to test by your own, and each of them is just creating to test to your server, and there is no master, and there is no slaves, nobody is controlling them. So you have to be in a meeting with your teammates, and you will just say like, let's start on this domain with this amount of user, with this amount of time, and all of you guys will create this test to your server, and each of you assess the results, but it will not help to understand how is it going on exactly, because you are not able to combine that different results from the each machines, because there is no master to connect it to each of them. But in your server, if you have a Kubernetes, if your server you can create a setup like a Prometheus to collect results from your collect the data from your server, and you can send that data to the Grafana for the visualization, and you can see all the measurements at your dashboard. And this is also one of the way you will just create the load by your own. It's like, let's assume someone has attacked you, or let's assume there's a really big event on your web page, and there is a huge amount of load on your web page. And how you see that? Of course, you will see from the Grafana to all the data, and you can also the same way to understand. But now I would like to create the VM, and I would like to see that, and also I would like to beat my fear about using AWS, and I hope I will not pay the big amount of the bill. And let's go how I did. On the console, there's just one searching tool, and it's really easy to use. Just type there EC2. EC2 is the VM virtual machine in an Amazon, and all the virtual machines has a different names. Like, let's assume Google Cloud has a different one, Oracle has different one, or the other, or Azure has different one. Azure, I also use the Azure, is the app service. They are calling app service as a VMs. The AWS is calling EC2 for the app service. And let's go to the EC2. And here is the launch instance. Just close this and launch instance. And I also use the GPT to code, to implement all that things, and it's really easy to do that. And you just need to give a name to your server here, and you have to select your operating system from there. And I selected Ubuntu. Let's try together. I already have one instance, and here I'm using the T2 micro, and this one T3 will be free if you are not able to access T2. And which operating system version of you would you like to use? If you type here free, you can see the free tier eligible, just 2 of them. Means I selected the newer one here. Able to select an architecture here, and the instance type, you can change your instance here. Like, you can go to bigger ones, but we are focusing on the price. If you type here free, you will just see the only free one is here. And you need a key pair to the access to your instance over your CMD tool or whatever you will use, which I have already one, but you are creating from here. RSA or ED. ED is the newest one and the strongest one, but I used RSA because it's a kind of habit, because we were all using RSA. That's why I also used. And the putty I used once or twice. Then I was trying to make a configuration with the GitHub, but I don't like putty too much. OpenSSH is the easiest one, and I used the PEM file and RSA combination. Just give a name and create a pair, and after then creating a pair here, you have to download, and don't forget, because you will not able to access that key again. But you are always welcome to create new one if you forget where you put. Here is the most important one, the network settings of your instance, and you have to set some networking inbound rules here, and this is the edit button here, and you can change the names here. No need to subnet here, this one, and also yes, because if you change this one, you have to select the one public IP, but it's in my example no need to, which should be, so auto assign is okay. Create a security group or select existing one, which I have already some security groups, but let's create a new one, because if you are doing that, this is the first time. Security group means it's a kind of firewall rules. The security group means just name it to your security group and create a destination here, and to start to register your rules here, you need one SSH. One SSH is using the TCP, and the port is 22. The source type could be anywhere, but if you say anywhere, that means it's open to everybody. I suggested to you make it custom, or sorry, the my IP custom. The my IP is my current IP. No, make it custom and type here your IP, and use 32 for the in types. It's I forget what does it mean after that things, but I believe this is for 7 people, this is for 15 people, because there should be the first one and the last one is like one is broadcast and the other one is something, but I forget the kind of that networking things. So give a description here, because if you need to read, don't forget, and add another one. You just need to specify some tools, Locust distributed ports. Let's go to find that ports. If I'm not wrong, if it's something like this, 5557, and the other one is 5558 here. No. Okay, let's ask this to the GPT. Because I forgot the port numbers. And asking this too easy to remind. Come on. Yes, 5557 for the master to worker, 5558. This is also master to worker. These are communicating each other with this ports, and this one for the UI, and this is for the TCP. So you just need to set all the ports in here, like what's that, 5557 custom TCP. The port range is 5557. This could be the custom or anywhere. Let's make this is also anywhere, and I will give a security group name like a anywhere. And what are the other ones? 5557 and 5558, 89, 8089, 8089. Yes, 8089. And this is the anywhere security group. Here is that there is a one warning. So it says that you created is open to anybody, but it's not really dangerous, because you also need to a security file here. We already created this one. It's without this, okay, these are open, but you are not able to access from the CMD or any kind of TCP, but you can attack to the VM, or anybody can attack the VM because these are open. So without any firewall rules or like any kind of WAF or security system, without this, that could be dangerous, because this is 750 hours monthly free, but I don't know if it gets an attacked, because it will easily increase the CPU and other limits. I don't know what will happen if it gets an attack. So if you have a static IP, or if you have a VPN, or if you have something, you just need to set your IP here, what you have. Or if you don't have, just keep close to your instance when you are not using. But if you have to make it open always, that if you are making something always open, that means you have to create some security tools there. So this is another topic, yeah. And the configuring storage is an 8 gigabyte was enough for my setup, but it's still free until 30. And I didn't make any advanced details because these are all enough to create a system like that. And then after setting all, there is a one button here to preview code, and you can easily to review what you created. So if you are like me, you will not understand that code because I'm not a guy to set all that things, but you can easily copy from here and paste it to the GPT and ask the GPT like, is that all correct? I copy it from the console AWS and I will create this, and it will give the instructions to you. Is that all correct? And I'm pretty sure it will be correct because it's easy to set all that things. And after that, just launch the installs, but I don't need to launch because I have already one I created. It's stopped, as I said, because I'm not using it at the moment, but it's easy to launch, easy to run or stop. And here is on the instance settings. You just need to select the instance and press to start instance. And after that, it's starting to run. And there are some, yes, here. This is my private key to the connect. And this is my security group, which is allowed to some private IPs. I mean, some public IPs. And this is the public IP of the server. So I need to connect that machine over my CLI. How I can do that? So this is my public IP of AWS EC2 Ubuntu 24. And not this one. Where's my copy as path, and here is my key file location. So these prompts are important because I used many times, and this is where located my CMD currently. Yeah. Why I said this? Because it will create the reading commands from where to somewhere. It needs to understand where is it and where are the files. And why I said the Ubuntu 24, because there are different versions of the Linux machines, and each Linux version, or these are not versions, these are what was the word? Distribution. Each distribution has different commands to connect. Let's assume if I select the Amazon Linux, it's an EC2 or something, the name. Yeah. And this is how I connect. Can't establish. Maybe the address could be something different. No, it is. No. Okay, yes, it is. So why I can't connect? Because the security group is on the Dogus VPN. So let's go to the look at the security groups, which I have already here. And the Dogus VPN is allowed to in some specific IP. But this one, Locust Master CG, is open to everywhere. And let's change this security inbound rules. Well, this one is also open to everywhere. I believe there could be a problem and I change it, the rules. And just I would like to show how I change the security group. I did once. Networking, security, change the security groups, yes. So which one? No, not default one. To the locust master. Add security group. Remove this one and say this. Okay. So the networking settings. Sorry, security settings. Yes, the inbound rules are all free. So the every location. Oh, maybe there is a problem on my network because I'm connected to school network and some of them actually no, guys. I should want to continue connecting. Yes. Okay. Yes. There's no problem. There was no problem. It's just I didn't read and I saw something clear. I saw something and I understand like the failed something, but there is no problem actually. So we connected to Ubuntu and let's try what we have. So there's already one locust file here, and how I copied that locust file, I copied the locust file from over CMD tool, and I show how I did this. It's this one is I copied there, and this one is also another one if I need to make something different. Sometimes we also need I had an idea to create something like if I don't know the which URLs I would like to test, because this one is only able to make only one host. I will show what I'm trying to say. So this is the IP of the machine, and this port for the UI of the locust. Is that locust working? Let's try to connect on my 3.142.12.79. 8089. Is that correct? Yes, is that correct? 8089. Let's try to find out why I can't connect. Oh, why? Because we just created the we just run the instance, but we didn't run the locust inside. So there is nothing serving here actually. Yes. What if we go there? Are we see something? Because I should see the actually. Do we have Python here? Yes, we have because Python. Come on. Uh, let's see something. This one could be the easier. How? If I close that, it will delete all that things. I'm not sure. It says PyCache, locust environment. That means is that installed? I mean, okay. I connect to Ubuntu machine or CMD. Oh, I checked the installed Python version. Yes. What I would like to try, if I create a HTTP server with a Python, I can see the files because there is no file because there is no server there. Python HTTP server start. I'm trying to find really easy command. It's yes, something like this. Yeah. This one. Okay. 8,000. Is that connecting like that? No. 8,000. There's no inbound rule at 8,000. Yes, this one works. Yeah. So the HTTP server is start and I can see the it's downloading. Yeah. This is working something like that. And also I close that. No. Yes. It's not responding again. So yes. How I copy a file from my local to the AWS machine over the connected CMD. And which file I would like to copy? This one. So why I needed this? Why I needed this? I was going to show this one. Where is the locust starting command? Give me locust start command. This master. Okay, I believe this one. This one could be work. Or if it's not, we will see. Locust not found. Why? And how I'm solving the problems like that? Because, but this one is not correct because I did. But maybe after the closing, is that deleting? I don't know. I should check this. But I'm pretty sure I did all the configurations. Okay, this one is easier because this one is nice because I was also worrying about to show how I did this, and because I already configured and I don't want to do that again. But now we have a chance to do that together. Okay. Okay, and we created environment. This environment is easy to, oh, what I found, because I already did this as I said, but the problem is I did this all in a environment things. So there is an, there could be another environments. It's just downloading. Okay. Okay, let's CIDR ls it says Ubuntu. Okay, let's, oh, the problem is I already installed all requirements, but it was in and remember which was. It gave me error this. So it gave me this error. Then you told me install requirements in new environment. But I reminded this. I can see all environments. And let's send, where are we? Yes, nice, really nice. Sometimes I'm considering about what I should do without GPT because it makes really faster. I mean, without this, I have to search tons of that things on web, on a communicate, in all that things. To go to the home directory. Yes, let's go. We are in a home. And let's see what we have. We don't have something like this. We don't have something like this. We are already in an environment. We are already in an environment. First, we should quit. That's why I sent that all the things. Maybe it didn't understand. Correct. Deactivate. Okay. Yes. ls. There's just one. Okay, what if I run the server again? What I see? Where is it from? Okay, let's turn off this. ls here, cd. Let's run again, because where you run, you will see that file. Okay. Is there one more back? ls? Yes, it is. So, one more back? No, this is the back east part. So is there any environment code? No. No. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yes, root. Okay, I didn't find the environment. I don't know why, but let's try to understand why is that happening, because it's kind of interesting. I connected. Locust environment activate. Okay, activated. And installing this. Root volume. Oh, makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense, because probably I didn't adjust the volume. Wrong directory. No, we are not in a wrong directory. No, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. We didn't do that. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. I will see that. I will see that probably. I don't know why I need to do that, because it's I gave 8 gigabits of storage in here. So this is the interesting thing. Let's say something like that. It has it it should be something like this, because otherwise is I was thinking like this it says it starts with a wall, so that should be volumes. Yes, volumes. So this is my volume. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. You do not need. Okay, let's continue where we are. Yeah, we did this and this will be the master. This will be the master, and here, yes. And this is the locust file name, this master. Okay. Here, yes, you can give the host here, but it will just create the load on that host, not if you would like to make some sub categories or tags or any other destinations in your main domain. So I was considering about to create something like this and able to give that things, or maybe creating a crawler, and if you just directing to the root domain, and it will just crawl fastly, and then it will randomly makes the load on a different in page. But this is a different thing because the locust and this library is not including something like this. If I would like to do this one, I need to create all different applications. It's like at first it's starting a crawler, then crawl all the things, keeps in the file, then making this one. It's a little bit more complicated. So I created this. Maybe if you need something like this, you can give the the URLs inside the file. Okay, so how I copy a file from my local, which one? This one. This one to the Ubuntu machine over CMD. This command was interesting. I wasn't know that. I was considering like I have to connect with the TCP tool, or what was the name? The TCP thing. It's the FileZilla. But there is a secure copy command. And this one is nice. This one is nice. I mean, you can copy what you want. Here you need to open new CMD tool because this one is connected to Ubuntu and I don't wanna quit. Here is copied ls, and here is in the randomly file. And how I remove? Probably I'm going wrong. Ubuntu remove file command rm. Let's keep this and see. Yeah, let's keep this and see if I close and open, it will start to there, it will stay there or not. And let's start the locust file. And here is the locust is working. Give me the locust worker. command to connect my master machine. And I will use that command in here, cmd. And there's a one worker section here, and you will see when I connect, it will increase one. Yep, this one. Yes, it's connected. And let's make a test a little bit on a task manager. Here you will see some tools. And if I sort it over the network, and you see the Python is connected. And what can I do? Let's try to on Google 1 and 1, make it 10. See? And here on here's some charts to see what's going on there. And these are the worker collected information. And this is very nice. This is very nice to use that tool with your friends, and easy and the cheapest idea here. And how I'm using that, I will share this file to my teammates, and they will run the file with this command, and they will all connect to connect to my cloud VM. Then I will order to all machines in and around the world, and we can create a load, because this is to making a load or testing this, it's a little bit complicated. That could be actually, because here and let's assume here your server Frankfurt. And how should you make a load test this one? If you create another machine in Germany, and if you make this load test from that machine to this one, the latency of the network could be really less. But if you put that to China, and this is the longest distance could be, maybe the central US, this could be the longest distance. If you make the load test, the latency will match. So if you would like to make this real, the closest to the real, you should make the test where is your user population is much. Like, let's assume your server is in the Frankfurt, and most of your user population in central US. So you should try something like this. And also, if you have some teammates from the outside of the country, like let's assume you have one friends at Netherlands, and you have one friends in Turkey, and you can all create the load test from different countries, and you will achieve all the results from your master, because these are all report this to your master. So this is the very nice and the cheapest way. Thank you for the watching. If you have any advice, any question, to this. It's I just record that video to make a community to communicate with the friends who would like to watch and learn. Uh, I don't know. It's like how I can make this a worldwide. I don't know. I am recording that all that is English. English is not my main tongue, but it's like helpful to speak. Yes, and why also I recorded this because I didn't find any source to make a distributed test like this. All the people used, the most of the people used the Kubernetes solution, this one, but I'm sure anybody would like to make this cheaper or maybe just on purpose or just try or just for the low budget. And this is the could be the one of the best ways to this one. Have a nice day, and I hope you will like